Hi there. Welcome back to the Slow English Podcast. I'm Mark, and I'm so glad you're here today. So, today I'm going to tell you a story about something I never thought would be such a big part of my life: fishing. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Fishing can sound a little boring, right? But let me tell you, it's not what you think. This story starts on a regular Saturday morning a couple of years ago. I had the day off and was looking for something to do, anything to get out of the house. That's when my neighbor, Jim, knocked on my door. Jim's the kind of guy who always seems to have some new hobby or project on the go. So he asked me, "Hey Mark, what do you think about going fishing today?" Now, I'm not exactly the outdoorsy type. I've never been great with patience, and the idea of sitting still all day didn't really sound like fun. But Jim had this way of making everything sound like an adventure, so I agreed. We grabbed some old fishing rods from his garage and headed to a nearby lake. I still wasn't sure what I was getting myself into, but Jim kept chatting away about how fishing was all about the experience, not just about catching fish. At first, I was skeptical. We got to the lake, and I noticed how quiet it was. The water was calm, and everything felt so still. Jim found a spot, and we sat down with our fishing rods. He showed me how to cast the line, and we waited. The first few minutes were a bit awkward. I didn't know what to do with myself. I kept fidgeting, wondering when something would happen. But Jim, as usual, seemed completely relaxed. He wasn't in a hurry, just enjoying the moment. And that's when something interesting happened. I started to relax too. It wasn't the excitement I expected, but there was something about sitting by the water, not rushing, and just being in that moment. I realized I had never really allowed myself to slow down like that before. We chatted, laughed about silly things, and eventually, I felt this weird calmness that I couldn't quite explain. Even though we didn't catch anything that day, I didn't mind. It was the experience that stuck with me. And you know what? After that, fishing became something I actually looked forward to. Not because I wanted to catch fish, but because it gave me time to think, to be with nature, and to just slow down. I've gone fishing a few more times since then, and it's always the same. Quiet, peaceful, and surprisingly fun. So if you ever get the chance to go fishing, or even just sit by a lake or river, give it a try. You might find yourself enjoying the stillness more than you expect. Thanks for listening today. I hope this story reminds you that sometimes the simplest moments are the ones that matter the most. I'll talk to you again soon on the next episode of the Slow English Podcast.